Let's move on to Group C for the Gold Cup predictions. Guys, we have 2 videos already out for Group A and Group B, so make sure to check that out. And we're going to have Group D out by tomorrow or the day after as well. But we got Group C for you guys, a highly anticipated video for us, and I'm sure for you guys on this channel. Before we get into it, though, let us know how you think this group is going to finish down below. And, of course, we're going to be going to some Group C games for the Gold Cup at the Dignity Health Sports Park in a few weeks. So make sure to stick around because we are going to vlog that. So make sure to turn notifications on for all that. Let's go 4th to 1st per usual in these other videos. Let's start with 4th place. I think there's going to be a consensus here over 4th place. I don't think there's going to be too much argument in comparison to how Group B went. 4th place is going to be Guadeloupe, right? If anybody has an objection to that, please speak now. But it's got to be Guadeloupe.
Let's hold a moment of silence.
That's great. It's going to be that bad, huh?
2 seconds, a moment of silence really quick. All
now,
right.
if there's anything about Guadeloupe to say, which I think there is, and if there's any Guadeloupeans or the gentleman of Guadeloupe or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. But if there are some of you out there watching this video, we do appreciate you and we see you. You deserve to be seen. This team it's just not good enough, I think, to go over Guatemala, Jamaica, and Panama. Not to say it's a bad team, though. I like this team, and they've had some rather good results over the past couple years or so. You know, they beat Suriname last September, by the way. That should not go unnoticed. They did beat Suriname in the Nations League. They consistently are beating the smaller teams of CONCACAF. But that's about it. They drew with Canada in last World Cup. Obviously, a very different Canada than now, but they drew against Canada. That might have been a wake-up call for the Canadian national team. But yeah, Guadeloupe, I mean, I don't really see. I think you can maybe say they have a chance against the likes of Guatemala. I think maybe. But I do think the odds are heavily stacked against this Guadeloupean side.
I think he just disrespected Guatemala, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I mean, we'll get into Guatemala in a little bit. I just think that this is how that if there is a game to get something from, it is that game. Is what I will say. If there's a way to put it, that's how I'll put it. But we can pretty abruptly move on to 3rd place. We're just get a little juicier here. Somebody shout out number 3 for you guys. Who finishes number 3?
Diego.
Anyone?
Diego leaned in.
I'll say. I thought Josh was gonna say something. I'll say Guatemala. I'll be honest. I don't think Guatemala are completely outside of the realm of upping Jamaica here.
Hey.
But I think Jamaica should, on paper, be able to take a spot higher than 3rd. So with that said, I'll put Guatemala below them. No disrespect to Guatemala. I think they are a solid team. There are a lot of solid teams, but I think the 2 teams above them are better in many ways when they get things going. So I just think Guatemala falls into that 3rd spot, but they should be able to beat Guadeloupe pretty comfortably, just because they were just that tier above. And yeah, I mean, I think Guatemala just kind of fit into that 3rd spot pretty easily here for me.
I'm actually agree as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, my turn.
Do you have something different, bro?
I'm not agree
My
as well,
bad.
you know.
My bad, brother.
Yeah, I'm
My
shut
bad.
up.
Shut up.
Fuck.
I think while they're not at the same. Well, I mean, you know, they're getting better, but I still feel Guatemala they're better right now. And like, not to go back to 2022 again, but actually, my bad, 2023. Guatemala beat Guadeloupe 3-2 in the Gold Cup. So I mean, they'd beaten them before. It was a close game, but I still feel right now, even currently, better team. And I feel like they'll maybe if it's close, but I think they'll finish 3rd.
I think Guatemala just have more success with a higher quality of opponent than Guadeloupe, right? Like Guadeloupe is fairly successful when you're playing against like the BVI or the Cayman Islands or St. Kitts and Nevis, like those teams who don't really have that much of a shout. Anyway, I don't want to say it makes them look better, but they do look very good in those ones. Guadeloupe did beat Nicaragua to get to this Gold Cup 2-0 aggregate, and that should not be understated. That is a very good win against a good opponent for CONCACAF standards to get to this point. So good on them for that. But yeah, I think Guatemala are just going to edge them out over there because I think this is one of those games where it's going to go down to the head-to-head. I don't see either of those teams pulling out a result or point from another game. I don't see either of them getting something against Jamaica or Panama. And if they did, that'd be more of something against Panama and Jamaica, because I don't think they should be dropping points to any of these teams. But yeah, I mean, Guatemala's in 3. in 3. But Diego raises an interesting point. Maybe they get something against Jamaica here.
I think if Jamaica have another horrid tournament, like the one we saw last summer, I wouldn't rule it out that Guatemala can just. I'm not saying it's a clear outright jump over, but maybe by a point, maybe by a goal difference. But I'm not ruling it out. If Guatemala can match a Jamaica team who is not clicking, because we still are unsure if they will at this tournament. Obviously, on paper, they should be better, and on paper, you could argue they could even be first. But there's so many factors and unknowns here that I can't really jump to that. So I'm still gonna have to put Guatemala at third, and then I kind of already spoiled my Jamaica pick, but
that's okay.
Then just to talk.
No, I was gonna say, Andres, you're 3.
My 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying they're interchangeable. No. Okay, no. There's some actual fact-based reasoning behind this. Okay, look, Guatemala is first in the World Cup qualifying. They are in the same group as Jamaica, who are currently second. They play this coming week, Guatemala versus Jamaica. So this will be a big game to decide. Okay, let's see what happens. Granted, they played twice. Quarterfinal game, Jamaica won. In the last Gold Cup, right? Or whatever. Quarterfinal game, and then they played again, 0-0 draw. It's going to be a lot closer than I think certain individuals are saying. So I genuinely think this World Cup qualifying will give an insight. So I'm saying it's too close to call, but I'm going to make a business decision here for the greater good of the channel, and I'm going to put Guatemala third. So, I'm just saying I can see it either way. If I had to make a bet to earn some
I support this.
If I had to make a bet, I could put Guatemala second.
No, I don't support this bet.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to put a bet and probably had a good return, I wouldn't, I'd recommend maybe, I'm not recommending anything actually. I would personally, if you want to follow, that's up to you. That's your money. Put Guatemala second. But yeah. I'm just saying I think it's going to be a lot closer. I can see it very interchangeably. I think this honestly is the group of death, in my humble opinion, because I think the top 3 can all interchange, especially because of certain injuries and also just in certain form players are in. So I think a lot can change in this group. So except for what nothing's changing for you. That's why I said 3.
Internationally recognized Guadeloupe.
And no disrespect.
No.
If you want me to play for your team, I got you. I'll switch nationalities. I'll live there for a couple years.
You'll fit right in.
I'll live there for a few years. That's how you can switch. You got to live there and become a citizen.
Wearing the Mexico. You know the Guadeloupean citizenship rules, because it depends on the country. It's not the same thing for every country.
I don't know, man. If they were that interested, they would help me out. You know what I mean? I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
You won't have to worry about it, bro. I promise you won't even have to worry about it. You're good. For context too, Jamaica, Guatemala, and Gold Cup is the game we're going to be at. So it's going to be a damn good game. A very important game for sure for that group. So make sure to keep eyes out for that vlog. But obviously, they're going to play, like you said, in the World Qualification very soon on the 10th. So in like 6 days. So it's a very important game to watch.
Guadeloupe jersey, bro. They even sell
You can.
those.
I almost did, actually. I genuinely almost did at one point, but I didn't. But okay, anyways. Second place is who? And this is where it might start to get a little controversial depending on who you are watching this channel. Because we have gotten... I'll say it after, depending on how this conversation goes. Second place goes to who? Give me Joaquin. Joaquin, second place is who?
I'm going to make another, choice. I mean, I don't know where I stand with everyone else, but I'm going to put Panama a second.
Oh.
Yes! Business decisions!
Wow.
Yeah.
And Joaquin hasn't even been on the channel. Like he hasn't even been involved in the whole
I got the contract right here, though, so I know we're good.
He wants the love. He wants the love. That's why.
Show us the gun to your head on the side.
Hand that camera.
I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be really close. That's why, Panama, Jamaica is going to be a really good game in the group, and that's probably going to decide who finishes first. But I just feel like right now, Jamaica, their team's strong. Not saying Panama isn't, but I don't know. I think the Reggae Boyz got it, personally.
Wow. Sound like Diego a year ago, bro. That's attitudes change real quick.
Let's see what Joaquin says once World Cup comes around next year. See where we're at. Diego, you're number 2.
Jamaica. I think they're not in the flow state. They're not there yet. They're not in the
vibe check.
Kind
haven't
of
passed the vibe check.
The vibe check. They're not in that area where they want to be, where they're confident in their football, because I don't think you can say you can be confident yet. Obviously, I think we're all hoping that they will get there, but right now it's still so much up in the air that I just can't rightfully put them above Panama, who just have had better success recently, got to the final, even before then, just have had more consistent results and are a tough team to break down, compared to a Jamaica who's still trying to figure out what they can do well and what they're good at, and play to that strength. So for that reason, I just think Jamaica are still figuring themselves out, and they need to find out what that flow is, and what they can do. I'm gonna put them second because I think they have the talent and the ability to do good enough for second. Like Joaquin said, potentially, maybe if we see some good showing, maybe even first, but I feel like that's jumping the gun a little, to be honest. So I think a second would be a totally respectable, and honestly, I think it's a great result for Jamaica. I think the fans and I would be like beyond pleased with a second place result, especially after the poor performances that we've been seeing in the tournament. So like I think second would be nothing short of a good tournament. And who knows, maybe they get an upset somewhere else and they get a good knockout round. Like I'm just saying, it's a second place result is not bad by any means. So that's how I see that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Andres, your number 2?
I've gone Jamaica. I'm playing it safe. I wouldn't mind. I would like to make this very clear before certain individuals in the comment section come after me. I'm not saying it's not possible for them to get first. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not hating. I'm just trying to be practical with things, and I do hope that they get first. I hope they beat Guatemala in both the World Cup qualifiers and when we go and see them. But with the inconsistencies throughout the years that we've followed them, that we've watched them, I'm hoping they can at least get over that hump, and I'm really hoping they're able to pull this out and get this at least second place finish. Because if they lose to Guatemala, it's gonna be a tough one. That's why I'm saying it's interchangeable, because that first game we're at, if they lose, then it's a tough road to recovery. So
I think it'd be a sad vlog. It'd be a disappointing sad vlog.
Bro, that don't even get bro.
Fingers crossed.
You could argue Jamaica have the highest ceiling for proportionally speaking for a team, and the lowest floor, because they could finish third and just be so disappointing, or they could surprise you out of nowhere and finish first. Also, because of the nature of the group, it's so even that I would argue that Jamaica have the most kind of like ability to be like up here or down here by the end of it. And I think that actually makes for a really exciting tournament for them, and hopefully it doesn't end poorly.
So first of all, I think we are planning on live streaming the Panama Jamaica game on June 24th. That is the plan right now, and I very much am anticipating that. And I'm very excited for that. I hope you guys are as well, just because that is obviously going to be the decider in the world that I think is going to happen. Right, I think Panama and Jamaica are both going to be getting 2 wins against Guadeloupe and Guatemala going into that game, meaning that will be the decider between first and second place. So we will be streaming that game as of right now. Hopefully you guys will want to join us for then, because it should be a lot of fun and a damn good time. With that being said, I think in that event, I'm gonna give it to Jamaica, because the last time they competitively played, Jamaica won that third place game in 2024 Nations League. It was a great goal. Panama just couldn't get much from them. I think Jamaica's style of football, if it exists, counters Panama.
It's a rarity nowadays.
Decently well. Yeah, I mean, Jamaica anticipates their opponent playing how Panama plays. Panama plays with that 5 of the back line. They control possession the whole time, and they beat them on the counter. Jamaica sets up for that. Now, this has happened before on the channel, and we have gotten some comments saying that we appreciate Panama a little bit. And maybe that is true, and I do think Panama deserve their flowers, because I think right now they're a top 3 CONCACAF team. But I just, in a head-to-head competitive match, I don't think Panama are going to show up in the same way that they do against the USA and Mexico, right? Panama knows when they have to. Jamaica, I think, are one of those teams where a lot of CONCACAF powerhouses don't give them the light of day anymore, unfortunately. And I think that's what's going to happen there, leading to Jamaica finishing atop there. And or it's a draw, and then it goes down to goal differential. Maybe there's not even a win there at all. I'm just really hoping Jamaica wins for the sake, because we haven't fucking live streamed a good Jamaica game yet, and I'm hoping that is one of those games we do.
They haven't won a single game we have watched on via stream or in person. So
but maybe it happens this time.
This is the time. If not, we're just bad luck, and we might just stop after this year.
Genuinely.
For the greater good. For the greater good of Jamaica, we'll take one for the team.
Jamaica, I believe the bracket is set up where if the second place of this group faces first place of Group B, which would be probably Canada. So I really hope Jamaica finishes first for their sake to move on, because since the 2015 Gold Cup, they've only been out of the semifinals one time. That was a damn good record. And I hope it continues into this one. It's just going to be not that easy. But I will say, for Jamaica's favor here, they're kind of starting to flow just a little bit. We haven't seen it in super competitive games yet, but it's going a little good. I mean, the Unity Cup, they made the final and lost on pens against Nigeria. All those games, if you watch those, were fantastic games. They're fun games to watch. And they have World Cup qualifiers before this Gold Cup, with one of them being Guatemala, like we said. And I do think if they start playing well in those two games and it's looking really good, I almost would want to give them the edge. Now, Panama also does have World Cup qualifiers going into this as well, but we'll see. Panama is a damn good team, but I think Panama does run the risk at any point of having one big slip, right? I mean, Panama are a great team, and they're in third place there, but I don't want to say this is the whole story, but a lot of their success has come off the back end of USA's failure, right? I'm not saying Panama's a bad team by any means. They're a fantastic team, and they're in my top 3 right now. But I just want to see Panama do a little more against other opponents, because we haven't seen that yet. Otherwise, except for the USA. So I do want to see that here, and nothing tells me yet that they can, but maybe this tournament changes my mind here. Then obviously our number ones. Joaquin versus Jamaica too.
Yeah, I mean,
why did Jamaica have the edge?
You explained everything right now for me,
you.
So I'm just gonna.
Thank you. I appreciate
after
that.
the second your argument.
Let me speak.
Diego
Let me
and I
speak now.
You spoke well.
Dang, Diego and I are like we matching, bro.
Dude, you guys are
all
very
3
close
videos so
together
far,
today.
bro. We're tied. I mean, Panama's Panama, bro. Like I agree. I think that they have to show up in these big games. I think they're the best when they're underdogs against the bigger countries. Hence why they always get every big CONCACAF team, which they are arguably now the top 3 in the top 3. A run for their money, and this is the chance to take care of business and get off that high of, continue that high of beating the United States, and finish strong. This is the group to do it, especially because it's a competitive group. They're able to continue what they're doing, especially if they want to give Jamaica the ball, let them have possession, hit them on the counterattack. This is the group to do it. Guatemala is also a good side. To be fair, I don't know how Guatemala play, but I'm gonna learn, obviously. So maybe it's gonna work perfectly in their game plan. And then Guadeloupe, that should be 3 points, no matter what. No disrespect, RIP. So
They're not even dead yet. They already dug
their grave. They just don't know it.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I think they have it locked in. Personally, just because of the inconsistency of Jamaica. If Jamaica were consistent going into this, I'd be like, okay, Jamaica's got this. I'll be on this hype train. But in the sense of a logical and how what I know Jamaica are capable of and incapable of. They're incapable of consistency, and that's what scares me here. So that's why I put Panama, because at least Panama are relatively more consistent than Jamaica. No offense, I will happily be proven wrong on this one.
Would you bet on it though?
Nah, because Jamaica are favorites, so you'd probably not win a whole lot of money. So probably not. I'd bet on Jamaica though.
Wait. Jamaica favorites to beat Panama?
Sorry, Panama are favorites. So that's what I'm saying. I'd put money on Jamaica. I'd put money on Jamaica. I mean, who really watches concacaf for the betters? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. You.
Me. I keep
You're
very
the
close.
entire industry for concacaf betting here.
I have my own personal bookie just for concacaf.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, Diego, would you like to comment on why Panama is your number 1? Because you seem pretty confident in it.
I do. I have to say, like I just said it, the consistency for Jamaica is what scares me. I think they could just as easily finish really well and finish very poorly, like I was saying earlier. And for me, Panama at the very least is consistent. You know what they can bring. You know what they do. And yes, I understand the want to have them show up against on a more often, like more common basis, to have them beat those other teams. But they have that in them to still beat basically everyone in this group. I generally do think they have that in them. Yes, Jamaica will definitely be the hardest game, but they still are still possible. And I would argue that it could still be considered slight favorites in that game. And so all they need to do is just pull it off. And then, like Josh was saying, or maybe it was you, Elijah, that if they come up against a bigger team, then they have to do what they love, which is sit back, absorb pressure, hit on the counter, steal a goal. And I don't know if many teams besides maybe Canada and maybe Mexico would know what to do if they go down against Panama, because once the Panama goes up 1-0 and they have
control
so many
the game.
Back,
they control the game.
They control the game. It is so difficult to break them down, and that's a position you don't want to be in. That's one of the top positions you do not want to be in as the opposing team, is trying to break down a 1-0 goal or whatever lead that Panama has, because that's tough. That's a lot of work the opposing team has to do. So I think Panama, if they can get that goal, they're so tough to break down. And I like that. I like that ability to be, they don't play the most beautiful football, but they know their game plan, they stick to it. And that's why I have them first, because at least they're consistent. You know what they're going out and going to do, and they have that game plan. So anyways, though, I think Panama and Jamaica, that game is going to be great, and I really want to see what happens there.
Yes. So hopefully we are in the position to live stream that game, because that would be very, very, very fun. Will I be sober? We'll see. That is a game time decision for then, and it will be determined within an hour of recording or live streaming there. So, yeah, like we said, we're going to be streaming that game. We're going to be going to Jamaica, Guatemala, and we're going to be vlogging the experience for you guys. So make sure to subscribe if you're not already. And if you are, make sure your notifications are on so you know when that video gets released, probably a day or two after that game. Make sure to let us know in the comments down below how you think this group is going to be finishing 1st through 4th, and tell us why if you want. And make sure to leave a like if you're looking forward to watching Group C in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the next couple weeks. Otherwise, my name was Elijah. I was here with Diego, Joaquin, and Andres per usual. And hopefully see you guys in future videos. Take care.